Treyarch has just revealed details about the brand new Black Ops 7 Zombies map coming in mid-season of Season 2, and honestly, I am not sure how to feel about it. You may have seen a couple months ago that it was leaked that we were going to get an Alpha Omega remake as DLC 2 for Black Ops 7. That is right, Alpha Omega from Black Ops 4. Of all maps to remake, we are getting another Nuketown remake. You know, it's one thing to get a remake of a map that we haven't seen ever, you know, like Ashes being a kind of inspired remake of Transit. I mean, we haven't seen Transit since Black Ops 2. It hasn't been remade at all, but Nuketown, really? I mean, aside from having Nuketown as a multiplayer map in literally every single Treyarch game, which by the way, we are getting pretty tired of as a community, just seeing Nuketown in general, but then we saw Nuketown Zombies in Black Ops 2. We saw it remade again in Black Ops 4, which is one of the worst zombies remakes of all time and regarded by some of the community as genuinely the worst Treyarch Zombies map of all time, which I don't fully agree with, but it's not great. And Treyarch has the gall to remake Nuketown again in Black Ops 7. I genuinely do not understand the idea behind this. It doesn't really make any sense, especially when you look at that teaser image we got at the end of Astra Malorum for the last map. If you didn't see it, at the end of Astra Malorum, for just a couple frames, you can see this tease of the next Zombies map, and you might think, this looks awesome. It looks like we just got drugged down to hell, kind of is giving Vanguard Dark Aether vibes. It looks super sick. What could be wrong with this? This looks nothing like Alpha Omega, and you're right, this doesn't look anything like Alpha Omega, and I really hope that this means that Treyarch is really taking the Ashes of the Damned approach, and the Nuketown part of this map is going to be very minimal or very just inspired by Nuketown and Alpha Omega, and that a majority of the map is going to be entirely original and look a lot more something like this, because this looks really cool, and Nuketown we've seen a million times. We don't want it. But that being said, I just don't understand why they would incorporate Nuketown into this map at all. Why can't we just have a wholly original map that has this entire vibe to it? Like, this looks so cool, but if there's even Nuketown aspects in it, I don't see why it needs it or what even the point of it is. So let's take a look at the key art that Treyarch just revealed today. Here it is on screen, and honestly, I'm really not vibing with it. I mean, obviously we have the nuclear symbol confirming that it's Nuketown, and just the name of the map, Paradox Junction, I don't know, that is just not giving iconic to me. I feel like this map is already forgettable and it hasn't even come out. But anyways, here's what the official map description is. After freeing Caltheris from her bonds at the culmination of Astra Malorum's main quest, the crew was pulled down into the sands of Mars and are now stranded out of time, watched over by the malevolent warden. What foul entities, otherworldly weaponry, and other surprises await? So pretty much nothing new there. I mean, it just recaps exactly what we already knew, and everything else is just common zombies buzzwords that they say in literally every blog ever. I really hope this map is great, and I think it can be good, but there's a lot of things that they have to do to make it that way. First of all, like I said, this map has to be more similar to Ashes than it is Alpha Omega. This cannot be just a straight up remake or even a reimagining. This has to be an entirely new concept that has cues and motifs and is inspired by the original Nuketown if we're going to incorporate it at all. Secondly, one of the biggest things that people really hated about Alpha Omega back in Black Ops 4 were the wonder weapons, and these were the Elemental Mark IIs. Now, if you never played Black Ops 4, you might think the Elemental Mark IIs are something from Shattered Veil, but no, it was the exact same thing back in Black Ops 4 on Alpha Omega, and people were just so tired of these reused wonder weapons and these unoriginal concepts. And if Treyarch brings back any reused or remade wonder weapons for this map, even if it's not the Mark IIs, but if it's any wonder weapon at all, I think people will be so upset. So one of the biggest things that Treyarch can do to make this map instantly more interesting is to create an entirely new, unique wonder weapon. And I have faith on this because they've been doing a pretty good job with that so far in Black Ops 7. So just keep up with the streak, Treyarch. Something entirely new. Hey, if you're gonna go with the Nuketown theme, make it something nuke themed. Like, immediately I'm picturing like the mini nuke launcher from Fallout. Something like that as a wonder weapon would be so sick. Do not bring back the Mark II ray guns, and do not bring back any wonder weapons. Next, I cannot stress this enough. The Easter egg has to be a 10 out of 10. To get people to buy into this Nuketown remake, the Easter egg and boss fight for that matter has to be the best in Black Ops 7, and I'm not joking. Even though I thought Astra Malorum was a pretty good map, I think you've lost a lot of the community with it, even though I don't agree, but a lot of the community really has soured on Astra Malorum, and I think it's, as a zombies map, it has been one of the fastest fall-offs I've ever seen. Like, nobody's playing the game right now. So we really got to bring people back with just an insanely good Easter egg, a nice lengthy solve, and a really good boss. I'm thinking at least as good of a boss as Ashes of the Damned, or if they would look back to some good bosses from before, like some of the insane Black Ops 4 Chaos map bosses, like the Elephants, the Voyage of Despair Eye, and Perseus. We need a super large-scale, epic, incredibly replayable, and difficult boss fight to really bring people back into the game. I'm not saying unfair difficult like Ashes, but just a good skill curve like we used to have in zombies, where it was difficult but not literally impossible and unfair. Next, the story. Oh my god, the story needs to start picking up. I've been giving them the benefit of the doubt with this story. It's kind of off to a slow start. They're going in a new direction, but by map 3, we need to hit the ground running. We need to really have some big twists, some big reveals, set up some new big mysteries, because right now, I mean, there's just no big mystery to the game. I know that we're trying to defeat the Warden in the end. I know that every map we're going to defeat a new Shadowsmith to get 2 characters' souls freed, and beyond that, there's just nothing that interesting. So they really need to introduce some new stuff into the story, get us all really intrigued again, bring that mystery back, and actually start paying off some threads we left in Black Ops 6, if they would ever go back to that, or at least start setting things up to be actually interesting, because at this point, I think if they don't set up the story enough in this map, I don't think anyone's gonna care. I think it's going to be just straight up too late. A funny parallel to the original Alpha Omega is that in Black Ops 4, Alpha Omega came back and it really brought back the Aether story and got people super hyped again. The one good part about Alpha Omega is that the story is really good. It has amazing dialogue and quotes, incredible lore Easter eggs, and just the writing of the map overall is really good, and the story is really good. It's some of the best in Black Ops 4, even on such a bad map. And Treyarch needs to do the exact same thing with this map. The story needs to start picking up, or I fear no one's going to care about this new direction of the story, and Black Ops 7 is just going to be completely forgotten. Finally, and I think this might actually be one of the most important parts, this map has to be bigger than Alpha Omega in size and actually dense with content. It has to be more similar to the size of something like a Black Ops 4 map, like a Black Ops 4 Chaos map, like something with that size to it and that densely packed with content, because I fear if it just ends up being around a similar size of Alpha Omega or even a similar size of Astra Malorum, this map will just not beat the bonus map allegations. If this map comes out and it's feeling like the Tomb, it's just kind of has a bunch of remade locations, remade wonder weapons, is too small, the Easter egg's too short, this map is just going to straight up feel like a bonus map, or at least people are going to accuse it of feeling like a bonus map, and at that point this game is just dead. I don't think there's any coming back from that, and I hate to say that because I really like this game. I really like zombies so far in Black Ops 7, and I hate being negative, but this game will die if they can't make a bigger map than Alpha Omega. It has to be bigger in scale, bigger in extravagance, and they just have to hit it out of the park with this map, and they're already starting from a deficit basically, right? Like, they have to win over the fans. Bringing like an Alpha Omega remake, the fans, they're not on board, okay? No one's on board with this. You have to win them back. Versus when you just come in with like an original new concept, you already have us on board. You already have the benefit of the doubt, but you have lost the benefit of the doubt when you're bringing back basically the most hated map, like aside from Transit. So you really have to win people over, and I think the best way to do that is to just have slight motifs from Nuketown. It doesn't have to be an actual remake. Just have themes and maybe just have one location, if that. And then beyond that, the Easter egg and the boss fight and the actual scale of the map has to be genuinely really good, because if not, I just fear that no one's going to care about this game anymore. I do think it was a mistake to not release this map with Season 2 launch. Now, granted, if not releasing it at Season 2 launch means it actually comes out more fully fleshed and actually working, no bugs and all that stuff, then obviously it's worth it. Obviously it's worth delaying it to Season 2 Reloaded if the final product is actually going to be genuinely better because of that. But if it's just because they want to spread out the maps and drip feed us content, then they've just made the worst decision ever. Unfortunately, because of the way the maps are nowadays, there's just not as much content as there used to be. These maps just don't have the staying power as maps in the old days of COD Zombies used to have. And unfortunately, people are looking for a new map like a month or 2 months right after the last map came out, versus before people would wait 3, even 4 months for a new map because the content and story was so rich. There was so much to theorize about before, and I think the story being good and having mystery and intrigue in the game goes a long way into keeping these maps relevant and surviving more months and giving us more time before we're actually looking for a new map. Because if there's so much to chew on, so much to think about and theorize about, we're not immediately looking for the next map like we are nowadays, because the story just feels so paper thin that we just need a new map immediately because we're already out of content and things to think about. And this map needs to be that change. We need a rich story that actually has some theorizing to it, or else this map is just going to drop and we're immediately going to be wanting the next map, and Treyarch's going to delay it by like 2 or 3 months again, and this game is just going to die. And I know people are saying it's really good news that we're getting 5 DLC maps. You know, we've never seen that before. That's more content than ever. And that is true. That is great. But if you put it this way, every single Black Ops Zombies game has had at least 6 Zombies maps, except Cold War, because Cold War is ass. And since this game only launched with 1 map, that means we're still only going to have 6 maps by the end of the cycle. So even though we're getting 5 DLC maps, getting 6 maps in a game is nothing out of the ordinary. In fact, it's average. And some Zombies games have had more than 6 maps, and we're kind of hoping for that with Black Ops 7, given that it's basically just glorified DLC. And with that being said, the worst thing that this map can do is just feel like a bonus map, because if this map just feels like a smaller map, lower scale, not as important, it's just gonna feel like the map that this game should have launched with to begin with, and that would have made up the 6 maps. And if that's the case, then that's just gonna be so terrible, because the point of having 5 fully fledged DLC maps is the hope and prayer that we're gonna have 6 maps at the end of this game that are all fully fledged, giant, big experiences, versus usually we have 5 maps plus a bonus map. But if all 6 felt like fully fledged experiences, that would be amazing. So let's just hope this map doesn't feel like a bonus map. That would be the worst. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about Paradox Junction in the comments below. I am excited and nervous. I really hope they get it right. I can't wait to see what they cook up. And if they follow what I said in this video, I think we could have something good on our hands. Anyways, thank you for watching. Leave a like. I will see you all very soon.